He's a billionaire, a murderer, a folk hero, but to the Mexican government, he's public enemy number one. This story begins in the dusty hills of Sinaloa, Mexico, a place where the mountains kiss the clouds, but justice is very far away. A boy named Joaquin Guzman Loera grew up selling oranges. His father, a man with a short temper and a long record of neglect, taught him just two things: how to sell opium poppies and how not to live. By the 1980s, the boy, now a wary young man with a sharp eye and a sharper ambition, was working under a drug lord named Angel Felix Garlado, yes, usually called El Padrino, the godfather of Mexican narcos. Guzman, he learned fast. He learned roots, alliances, bribes, betrayals. And when the Guadalajara cartel crumbled, he didn't mourn, he rather saw an opening. So he built tunnels under the US-Mexico border. Not sloppy holes, no. They were architectural feats. Steel reinforced, air-conditioned, lit like subway lines. They earned him the name El Chapo, Shorty. But it wasn't his stature people feared. It was his reach, his enormous influence, and his ruthlessness. By the late 90s, he was king of the Sinaloa cartel, the most powerful drug syndicate in the world. Cocaine flowed north, money and debt flowed back. Entire towns lived and died by his orders. Politicians looked the other side. Journalists disappeared. Rivals were silenced. And El Chapo, he became both legend and ghost. But no king stays safe forever. In June 1993, he was arrested for the very first time in Guatemala, extradited to Mexico, and imprisoned in Puente Grande prison outside Guadalajara. Officials smiled for the camera. They said justice was served, but from inside prison, El Chapo lived like a king. He had a compromised police network and prison guards on his payroll, a private army that maintained drug operations and shipments, and it was netting him about $20 million a month. Yes, $20 million. In fact, it is believed that his narco empire grew almost more than it had before he was incarcerated. He had lobster dinners, women, parties, cell phones, you name it. He was literally living the La Vida Loca inside prison. In 2001, the Mexican Supreme Court issued an opinion to reactivate the extradition treaty between Mexico and US. For El Chapo, time in Puente Grande was now running out, as his extradition will mean facing real justice. But El Chapo isn't just the mastermind of a drug cartel. He is an escape artist. Why? He disappeared. Literally. He just vanished. How? He slipped out in a laundry cart, past guards who looked the other way, into the night. And for 13 years, he ruled from the shadows. He was a ghost with a fleet of jets, armored convoys, and a tunnel system that made a mockery of subway engineers. Then came 2014. The Mexican Marine, aided by US intel, stormed the condo in Mazatlan. No gunfire, no tunnel. This time, just El Chapo and his wife with 2 daughters caught off guard. Again, headlines claimed victory, but within a year, he was digging tunnels again. This man literally dug tunnels like a rat. In 2015, he escaped again, through a mile-long tunnel leading from the shower of his prison cell. Yes, the shower of his prison cell to an empty warehouse. He emerged in the night like a phantom, leaving behind a gaping hole and the most embarrassing moment in Mexican prison history. He even had the audacity to contact actors, including Shin Pen here, hoping for a biopic. He just wanted to show off. His ego was expanding faster than his territory. But this time, the hunt didn't stop. We needed to put him to a stop. In January 2016, authorities cornered him in Los Smokies. Yes, he was cornered in Los Smokies. A bloody shootout ended in his capture. This time, no tunnel, no escape. They sent him to the US finally. And in 2019, after a dramatic trial in Brooklyn, filled with tales of torture, bribes, hidden lovers, and mountains of cash, Joaquin Guzman Loera was sentenced to life in Colorado Supermax prison, a place with no tunnels, no phones, and no way out. Today, El Chapo sits in a cell the size of a parking spot, buried alive in concrete and silence. But his legacy lives on in the chaos of cartel wars, in the rise of his sons, Los Chapitos, and in the shadow of every border tunnel dug in his name. He was more than a drug lord. He was a myth. But in the end, even myths have walls they can't dig under. If you like the story, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and follow for more. Thank you.